Hello and welcome to my podcast. My name is Nicole and I'm the brains and the beauty behind Yarn Craft by Nicole. Today my featured make is smaller than normal, but I've got on some cute, I think that's the back, some cute granny square earrings. I made these with scrap yarn and some beads that I already had, and they were super fun to make. Maybe one of these days I'll make a tutorial, but they're nice. They're just a little bit handmade, adding to the outfit. The yarn I used for this was leftovers from Stitch Together Studio. She had a color of the month. She might still. I think she's moving more towards tattooing than yarn dyeing, which, how cool is that? But this one I think was called Silly Love Song, and it was a February colorway, so I like it. Just a little bit of color to this pretty casual outfit. Also, I just got this shirt from Meyer. If you're in the Midwest, you know what Meyer is. And I'm gonna miss Meyer when we move because this is a pretty cute shirt. I like it, it's very lightweight. Okay, so I've got a couple of things to show you today. I really only have one finished object, but it's a big one. So I'm gonna start with that. I finished the dress. This wonderful dress that I have been working on for a while. Now, when you make a garment that is this big, it feels like it takes forever, especially if you were in a bigger size. I made an extra large for mine, and I used a sport weight yarn, so it just was a lot of stitches. But kind of looking back, it was a long project, but it really didn't take me super long to do. And this pattern, when it releases, I think it's gonna release in June, will be offered where you can do it in sport weight and in DK. Honestly, with the way that Haley writes her patterns, you can use any yarn weight that you would like because it's really based on measurements. And for this one, like, you could probably get away with a worsted, but the reason why it's not written for that is that it would become very heavy. So I made mine in a sport and I really like it. So this beautiful dress with the cute sleeves and this really pretty texture of stitches. Y'all have seen it as it has grown, and then look what I added to the bottom. A little bit of color. I love it. I think it's just so fun. The pattern is written with pockets. I opted for the mod to make my skirt fuller, so I have more increases on the skirt than one of the ways that it's written. And I asked the designer Haley if it was okay if I didn't do pockets because I thought it would look, I don't know, a little like they would get lost in the fullness of the skirt. So she said, don't worry about it. So I said, yay. I'm actually planning on getting pictures in this later today. We are going to the Henry Ford. I love that museum. We've been once, twice, I think just once. And we've got like a list of things that we're trying to see in Michigan, at least around us, before we move, because we've got like 2 weeks and some change, which is wild. So we're going there today, and it's really pretty on the outside. So I'm gonna wear this. I'm gonna get a little bit more glammed up and take some great pictures. So if you know me at all, if you follow my Instagram, you know that pictures are usually my favorite part. Kind of depends on the weather a little bit, but now that it's starting to be pretty nice in Michigan, pictures are lots and lots of fun. The next two projects, well, let me see, what do I want to start with? I guess I'll start with this one. So I have a friend that lives here as well who's also going to be moving, and she wanted me to make a sweater for her daughter and to make it for her daughter's first birthday, which is in November. And I took the yarn, sorry, fighting off allergies. I took the yarn with me on the road trip that we went on last week. How is that possible? That was last week. And got started on it. And I have never made a child sweater before, and it's so cute. And they work up so quick. Can you even imagine? So this is, let's see if it'll focus. There you go. This is the pumpkin sweater. I will put in the description who it's by because it's not someone that I've used before. But I know that it's called the pumpkin sweater. It's written for, I think, 6 months through 10 years old. And I'm making the 1 to 2 size, so it looks kind of big, but that's the cool thing about baby clothes is that if you make it too big, they'll eventually grow into it. And I'm using this cool yarn called Zooey from Juniper Moon Farms. Focus on this, not my face, thank you. Which is a blend of cotton and linen. It's a little bit of a thick, thin yarn. It's got a cool texture. It's soft, but it's not, I don't know, it's not buttery soft. It's got a toothiness to it, but I think it'll be perfect. They are moving to Texas where it'll be very warm, so even though she is a November baby, she wanted something lighter weight. And I really like it. I really like the detail in the yoke. When I was first reading the pattern, I was a little curious as to how it was going to work out, but I really like it. So the rest of the body is going to be in the cluster stitch. I think it's got 12 rounds of that total. It's either 12 or 14 for the size I'm making. And then it'll have a little ribbing on the bottom, 2 sleeves, and then you go back and do the ribbing at the top. So yeah, I like this a lot. It's been fun to work on. And it's nice because it's just a small project. Like I got my toes done this past week and I just worked on this while in the chair, which I think might be the first time that I've taken yarn to get a pedicure, and I should do that all the time. I was going to bring a book, but I was a little tired, so I was afraid I'd fall asleep if I brought a book. So I'm really liking this pattern. My goal is to finish it by next Thursday, next week sometime, because we have like a group dinner that we're doing with everybody before everybody moves, and that's next Thursday. So I think I can finish it. It's very cute. I like it lots. I like this color. It's called Morganite, I believe. Yeah, Morganite. And I like Juniper Moon Farms. I've used a couple of their yarns before. They've got a really nice Pima cotton. I think it's called Neve, N-E-V-E, that I like a lot. And then their Harriet bases that have alpaca in them are just ridiculously soft. So I like Juniper Moon Farms. The last project that I'm working on is another baby blanket for another friend of mine. She's not due until September, but I already had colors that would work for her little boy on hand, so I went ahead and started that, but I do have another one I needed to finish by July. So I'm making kind of a checkerboard blanket with linen stitch squares. Focus, you know you want to do it. There you go. Which I love linen stitch squares. They're one of my favorites, and I really like them for baby blankets because they've got a good drape and they don't have as big gaps as granny squares do. So this is what I've gotten so far, alternating between the blue and the green. And then I can't decide if I want to do a border in the blue or if I want to use this brown that I have. That's very pretty, that I used in the Tunisian simple stitch striped blanket that I was working on a couple weeks ago. I like it, but it's slightly thicker than this yarn, and I don't really want waves on the border, so I'm probably gonna do blue. I should have enough blue. But I like the way it's working out. It's very cute. I'm seaming these. I love the way that linen stitch squares look seamed. I know there are a million join as you go methods. I like seaming granny stitch squares or linen stitch squares. I just do. So that is what I'm working on right now. I'm kind of alternating between the sweater and the square. So like I'll do, I don't know, a round of body and then make a square, and then a round of body and then seam the square. Just to keep my brain engaged with this, since both of them are kind of pretty meditative projects. The last thing I want to show you is not a project, but it's yarn that I may or may not have forgotten that I bought, and look at it. It's beautiful. Oh, and I don't think you might be able to tell a little bit. This is on a, I think it's a gold, yeah, a gold stellina base. So stellina is like a sparkliness that sometimes is added to yarn depending on how much stellina is in a skein, like I have had yarn that has had stellina that has like it's a little crunchy because of that metallic thread that's throughout, but this, not crunchy at all. And it's very, very subtle. So that's one thing that, like, if you wanted a really glittery yarn, just know that it's going to have a little bit more texture. This is from Sunshine Queen Fibers, who I found on Instagram. She had a, what was it called? Jewel Tones collection. Y'all know I love a jewel tone. And so I decided to shop from her from the first time. So she has a shop on Etsy that's linked on her Instagram. So that's where you can buy her yarn. This was a pre-order, so I don't think that this is still open. But this is actually a sock set. So I'm not going to unwind this because I don't trust myself to wind it back up as pretty as it is now. But this is the main color, this white opal. And then these two are both mini skeins. So the way that she packaged it is that she just twisted them together. But when I go to wind these, it'll be easy for me to untwist them. So I got to pick, which was also very cool. I've never seen a yarn dyer do this, where you get to pick your sock set. So I chose the main color base. I chose how many minis I wanted. Did I want one or two? And then I chose what colors I wanted. So that was really cool. I've never seen that before, and I really like it. These are very much Nicole colorways. Like this is very much my vibe. I have no idea what I'm gonna make with this. I've gotten a couple of either full skeins and a couple of mini skeins, or full skein and a mini skein for a sock set, because it's just fun to play with a main color and a contrast color in like a low commitment way. But I don't know what this will become, but it's really, really cute. I do know that a sock set that I've had for probably almost a year now, I'm hoping to start designing with, if not this month, then in June, because I want to have it, it's a shark inspired yarn, and I'm going to make a cowl that is shark inspired, and I want it to be done by Shark Week because, you know, a theme. So I'm hoping to work on that soon. So this will probably sit in stash for a little bit until it tells me what it wants to be. But I really like it. And just the subtleness of the colors of the white opal are perfect. So I really like this. And it's very, very soft. So if you haven't checked her out yet, Sunshine Queen Fibers. You can find her on Instagram and on Etsy. She's great. And this is a, that's part of the reason why it's so soft. It's an 80% superwash, 15% nylon, 5% gold stellina. I love it. Oh, and on Instagram, I'm seeing it back over here. It's Sunshine Queen Fiber Arts. So that's how you find her. And that, lovelies, is the end of our podcast this week. That's the end of our yarn chat. What I can't let go of this week is just the wonderful graduation that we got to go to last week. It was my sister-in-law's graduation. She is the last of the siblings to graduate, on both sides of the family, on my side and on his side. So it was very joyous and fun to see her, and to everyone to just express how proud they were of her. And she's already got an internship lined up, so we're just over the moon with that. So it was lovely. And then the next big thing for us is the big move to New York. So I think I've got 2 or 3 podcasts left here, and then we will be getting ready for our new place. I will still be podcasting in New York. My setup will be different. I'll probably play with a couple of areas in the house to see where's the best place to shoot. Here in Michigan, in our townhouse, there's really only one good spot that has natural light, so we'll see how all that shakes out. But I will be right back here next week. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you back here next time. Bye.